All right. So we'll go ahead and take our centering breaths because we are here with our little shining lights ready to go. And we'll take our centering breaths and take a slow breath in through your nose, filling up that belly all the way, expanding it, and then slowly exhaling. All right, let's take another centering breath. Go ahead and breathe all the way in through your nose. And then exhale. Let's do a couple more of those by anchoring into your breath, by really noticing the expansion of your belly and back. You can also use some of those anchoring words we've talked about. Breathe in, I am. Exhale, relaxed. Let your eyes close and continue breathing. I am relaxed. Centering yourself, bringing yourself into that awareness of where you're at and your intention. For the next 5 minutes, I will focus on following my breath to the best of my ability. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, I am. Exhale, relaxed. Breathe in, I am. Exhale, relaxed. When you're ready, let your eyes open. We have been learning to be mindful of our breath and listening. We know that when we get calm and peaceful inside, we hear a lot more things on our external environment and also our internal. We're mindful of our thoughts. We know when we're in the past, we know when we're in the future, and that breath keeps bringing us back to centering. So we are mindful of those thoughts. And sometimes our thoughts get away from us and we have to anchor them into maybe some anchor words like thinking, 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 or planning, 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 worrying, worrying, worrying. When you name it, it sort of brings you back to center. So today we're going to take a look at mindfulness of our emotions. So we can appreciate, when we're mindful of our emotions, we can appreciate and enjoy all those what we consider happy emotions that make us feel good inside: happy, joy, appreciation, peace. But we also have those other emotions that aren't necessarily very happy feeling emotions, and we consider those being sort of a negative uh, energy associated with it. So when we have this thought, we have this emotion. So it all starts with our thought. For example, so if Sally says, "Oh, you know what? That is the silliest jacket you've ever worn in your life." Your thought goes, "Sally just said that." And then you start to have a feeling about that. Well, that wasn't very nice. And well, I feel sad about that. And then you start to get the emotion. I feel angry. And then you start thinking, well, I'm going to get Sally back for saying that. Or you might have your own little ways of doing that. So, mindfulness of our emotions is going to allow us to create some space. So, right now, I would like for you just to take your hand and put it down by your belly. You don't need to share this. And whenever you sort of agree with something I said, you just lift your thumb up. Okay. So, and you could just put your head down, and this is only for you. So, have you ever said something you wished you could take back? Okay. Now, I know I have. And have you ever done something in anger, like break something or throw something, or maybe you shamed somebody? And this includes yourself, all these things that you do to yourself and others. Okay. Every time you felt that, you could put a little thumb up. Yes, I have said something. And I know I've done that because I step back and go, why did I say that? And then your thoughts are in the past because you're thinking about what you did, and then you're thinking about what you're going to do in the future, and then it pulls us away. So you can go ahead and lift your head up. That was sort of like just an understanding of your emotions, of how you reacted during that time. So if we take a look at emotions, you have this. If my finger represents an emotion, you have my anger. And then how I respond to that is my reaction. Okay. Close together, very close together. Without mindfulness, okay, I'm going to have my little puppet here. This is my anger. All right. And this is my reaction of yelling, throwing things. There is no space there. That's not having any mindfulness of your emotions. You just react. You did this to me, I'm going to do it back to you. Or here's how I'm going to react. With mindfulness of your emotions, you suddenly say, I'm angry. And we've heard this at our school, right? We've heard Miss Skillman say, name it, name it. And it's so true. I'm angry. You have this feeling inside of anger, and it's emotion, it's energy in you. So the minute you say, I'm angry, that emotion, energy in motion starts to have a little release of it. Otherwise, it's building up and building up. So I'm angry. And immediately that creates a bell going off. What can I do? I can breathe. So I take a mindful breath, slowly breathing in through your nose, like we do with our centering breaths. Expand that belly and slowly exhale it with some pursed lips. And this is what happens when you make that one mindful breath. You create that tiny little space, that you can react, or you could take another breath, a mindful breath, and you create more space and more space. And the more mindful breaths you take, it may take you 10, it may take me 20, but the more space you create, that is your time that you can walk through and respond. You can respond. Now, some people, myself included, I will create that space and I still respond to that anger. So I react, I still react, but I'm conscious of it. I'm mindful that I am reacting and not responding. But the next time, I'm going to choose when I create that space and I walk through, I'm going to choose differently. So it's a process of how we're taking a look at that to be able to create our space. And it's not just anger, it's sadness. Am I going to move into this depression and jump onto the pity party? Okay. Is this what I'm going to do? Or am I going to create space and choose something differently? So remember, when you are mindful of your emotions, you name it, you can have that choice to react or respond. And again, your first days of and we look at this with our kids in our class. Do they react by immediately screaming, throwing things, knocking things down, yelling? Okay. When we teach ourselves, then we may teach them how to create that space. And again, we may still have that same reaction, but we will be mindful of how it plays out in the next step. It's the evolution of it all. So if you are without mindfulness, remember, we have our little anger puppet, our emotion. Everything starts in the head, moves down to your heart, your feeling, and then it creates the emotion. And then the emotion impacts our environment. Okay. Without that mindfulness, you get your story. So suddenly that little anger turns into a story. And then if you continue to not have mindfulness, then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you have this story that you're in the past thinking about what Sally said about my jacket, living back there. And oh, the next time I see Sally, I'm going to make sure I nitpick her, or I might do that passive aggressive thing where I'm just going to dig in, come in through the down low. I might even ignore her and withdraw my love from her. Okay? So it's this big huge story. And then you have a Hollywood production, people. A Hollywood production. This is called Ode to Your Melodrama. This is your melodrama. You're the director, you're the creator, you're the actor, the actresses, and then you drag everybody into your melodrama, okay? Ready, set, action. And then what do? You play it over and over again because your body is addicted to those chemicals and emotions. Believe it or not, we are addicted to our emotions because that's really the only thing we can control. So, but you become more powerful when you create that space. We think we're being weak and we think that we have no control, but we do. And we can control all of that. So, as we journey on today, notice those emotions. Notice when you start to feel shame or guilt or frustration when things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Remember, you can even use your finger. Okay, I'm just going to blare off an email, or I'm just going to go to, Cindy and share and play that over and over in your head again. Okay. Don't take it personally, okay? It's your story. It's your melodrama. You can create it any way you want. All right. So with that, I went a little over because I was having some challenges with the computer and I was getting ready to throw it out the window. Okay. But then I'm like, I got to practice what I preach around here. So I was like breathing and I created that space and I walked through and I just put a smile on my face. Otherwise, I would have been like, oh, judging myself and they're going to judge me and they're going to think I don't have it together. And I'm going to win an Academy Award for that.